Greetings. Welcome to another intermittent fasting video. And in this video, I'm starting off with giving thanks for this delicious warm beverage. It is such a blessing. I was looking forward to it. And I'm going to go into how I felt. During the dry fast, I was looking forward to having this warm beverage. And I'm so thankful, so grateful for fire and herbs. Anyhow, in this video, I will be discussing the 3-day or 72-hour intermittent dry fasting process, as well as how dry fasting brings peace and renewal to the spirit and the benefits of that, as well as something funny that I noticed at the end. So stay with me so that you can hear my funny experience with dry fasting. So the 3-day intermittent dry fasting process. The first time that, the whole concept of 3 days came to me was in Kundalini Yoga as taught by Yogi Bhajan. He taught that it takes 3 days, 72 hours for a healthy body to change their cells, to have new cells, and basically, just renew and start afresh. It's like a new, healing that happens in the body within 72 hours. And he said it much more scientifically than that, but that's the way I remember it. My bad if it doesn't sound, verbatim, because it's not. But I read that in the teacher training manual, or in one of the books already, 15 years ago, or 12, 13, 14, 14 years ago. So, I got to brush up on it if I want to get it verbatim. But the bottom line is that in 72 hours in a healthy body, the cells renew. And so that is where the first concept of, the 3 days and 72 hours came into my reality. Now, in reference to dry fasting for 3 days, I didn't start off with 3 days. I actually started off with a couple of hours each day. To be specific, during my work hours as a virtual recruiter, which is something that I've been doing for some time, I would end up dry fasting during my work. Pardon me. So what happened was I was so focused on making that money that I didn't even think about drinking. I would just be so focused on my tasks. Like, okay, I got to send these emails. I got to respond to these emails. I got to call these people. Are my children doing their schoolwork? Because, lots of us folks been doing the school thing before this whole thing even happened. And we're not even going to speak on all that because it's already been spoken on enough. So, anyways, I would find myself naturally dry fasting. And I'm so glad that I didn't force myself to drink. And because I know that when you eat, you are supposed to drink. And a lot of people would always say, oh, make sure you're drinking, make sure you're drinking. And I was one of those people that would drink a gallon of water a day, especially when I used to run cross country. I was just in love with water, and I still am, but I like the benefits of dry fasting. 1 day of dry fasting equals to 3 days of liquid fasting. It is a very intense cleansing process for the body, mind, and spirit. Excuse me. So I started off doing it during my work schedule, just naturally, super focused, like money vision. This is all I was thinking about. I was like, oh, and who's doing their schoolwork? It was just like, so I wasn't even thinking about drinking. And, I started off with a couple of hours and then I would notice, like, dang, I ain't had nothing to drink. And if I felt like drinking, I would drink. And if I didn't, then I wouldn't. And so, like, my body and my spirit was naturally prepping me for what I'm doing now. And so I think that everybody kind of has to like finesse their way into it and listen to their body and just start off with a couple of hours during the day. And if you've already been doing a couple of hours during the day, or everybody does it during the night, so it's like that's not even necessary to mention. But doing it during the day and then allowing yourself to have that full 24 hours, which was the next step for me, was allowing myself to have that full 24 hours. But I didn't do it dry at first. I did 24 hours with dry fasting as long as I could, as long as I could make it, and then I'd have something to drink. And then I got to the point months down the line. So I started in the spring of 2019. And then by the time I got to August of 2019, I was at the point where I decided to do a whole week. And during that week, oh my gosh, sometimes I just thought I was going to die. But I didn't, because thank God. It was just like I didn't have techniques that I learned. So, anyways, during that time, and just to, go back to the first point about that time period. So you have March, April, May, June, July, August. That's 5 or 6 months where my body is getting mentally and, physically prepared to go to the next level, where I'm like, doing intermittent fasting by hours and days, like one day here, taking a break, one day here, taking a break, some hours here, taking a break, just slowly building up to more time. Ooh, I feel this tea in my stomach. It might be getting close to that time. So, anyways, pardon me. Back to what I was discussing about the process. So, once you can do a full day of liquid with no problem, or half a day dry and then half a day liquid, then you can move to a full day dry. Listen to your body and do what's best for you. People were telling me to drink, and I'm so glad that I didn't, because now I'm at the point where I can do dry fasting for a longer period of time, and that is a blessing. Now, of course, those breatharians, they just on another level. They ain't even thinking about no tea, which I'm grateful for. So, now, in reference to, and much props to them, they're like superhuman, like super strong. So, back to the process, of getting yourself step by step into the rhythm of consistent fasting for extended amounts of time, consistently, there we go, consistently, for health, for healing, all that good stuff. So I had the 6-month period, and then I kind of just went into some fasting and then not fasting, fasting and then not fasting from, the August through December. Same thing into from January 2020 to June 2020. Fasting, not fasting, fasting, not fasting. But what's funny is that I kept like ragging on myself, like, you're not being consistent. And, sometimes people can be their own worst critics because actually I was being consistent. I was being consistent with fasting and not fasting. I was thinking that I was looking at it from a different perspective. Like, you ain't even doing no long fast. But, that's okay because there is a breatharian master who said to do consistent fasting. Start with a day a week, then build up to a couple of days a week. That was the best advice that he could have ever gave anybody because that's powerful. Like, so much has gotten better for me just off of fasting for 3 days out of the week for 72 hours. It's a blessing. And that brings me to my next topic, which is the dry fasting for renewal of the spirit. I feel much more peaceful. Now, I have a very strong nose, and even though my window's closed, I can tell that one of my neighbors is cleaning, but fabuloso. It's like it's just a strong ass chemical smell. Pardon me. Oh my God, I really smell. That's crazy. Mm, mm, mm. I'm going to go buy my neighbor some Method or 7th Generation or something and just be like, here's a gift for you. Anyways, yeah. So back to what I was saying. Fabuloso is a very strong smell. That's not what we're talking about, though. We're talking about how fasting renews the body, mind, and spirit. The fasting meditation. Such a blessing. Oh, I'm going to burn me some sage. Sorry. So, put my tea down. I'm just waving it around. So basically, what I've noted is that I feel more at peace. And at first, I was just like accrediting it to being tired. And that's just the ego. The ego always wants to try to classify everything like you're just tired. That's why you responding differently. You're sleepy. You don't got the energy. You don't got the energy to have a tantrum. You don't got the energy to be angry. You don't got the energy to get pissed off. And so, like, I was kind of like, walking around with that consciousness for some time. I was like, oh, yeah. And I was actually saying that. I was like, yeah, I don't have the energy to get upset. That's what it is. But it's so much deeper than that. It's like fasting is a renewal of the spirit, the energy body, and the mind. And it brings peace. Of course, sometimes you can get sleepy, but it seems like at first I was just processing this new energetic as sleepiness. But now I'm starting to see it as peace because, like, I'm responding differently. I'm like getting back to my pure self, and I appreciate that because I remember when I used to just look at someone that I know and I'd be like, oh, you just trip all the time about every little thing. I don't know why you do that. But then, like, what people focus on, they become. So me being focused on that person with the temper and the tantrums, I became one of those people, just high, quick tempered, and like a spoiled adult. You know how people say children are spoiled and when they want what they want and they have a tantrum about it? Well, shit, most adults are spoiled because soon as something ain't going their way, they catch an attitude or have a little tantrum. And that is just the way it is. And if you haven't noticed it, then start paying attention to, like, the adults and just how they respond, to unfavorable situations, things not going their way, when they're not getting what they want. Of course, if you're dealing with more refined humans, then you probably won't even see that. But I'm just talking about, regular people on their elevation journey. I'm not talking about, like, metaphysics. So, anyways, um, I've noted definitely intermittent dry fasting does bring peace and renewal of the spirit. And this fabuloso is too dang on strong. It's like, God dang, if I open my window, more of it's going to come in. And if I open my door, then I guess it will go out. And that would be the smart thing to do. But I'm making a video. So back to this peace. It is a blessing. It's a blessing to feel peace and to see yourself responding better and being better and just getting back to that pure state of self. Because I did notice, that I changed, but I was just like, so the behavior become habitual, just like the spoiled behavior. We'll just call it the spoiled behavior. The spoiled behavior had became habitual. I spent so much time being focused on how somebody else was spoiled and just having tantrums about everything. I became a spoiled person having tantrums about everything. And when I wasn't having it verbally, it was mentally. It was like, just like thinking, about what I didn't like over and over and like, having a mental tantrum about it. So fasting is a way to correct that, what you want to call it, psychosis, neurosis, mental, unfavorable mental behavior. However you want to categorize it or think of it, fasting is a remedy for that. It is a blessing. It's something that can assist you or someone that you know with their behavior, basically, their behavior. And it is wonderful because I remember when I didn't have that type of drama in my life. I remember when I didn't have that type of trauma. So I was like, yay, you're doing a little better, getting back to self. Hey. And it feels good, because it just reminds me of a time of purity when I was just like in a pure space and I just thought I was so, divine. Not really. I mean, but I just mean like I was just in a pure space where I wouldn't dare have a tantrum or be spoiled and think, and respond negatively or unfavorably to things not going my way. It just wasn't my character. So fasting assists you with renewal of your mind and spirit, because cleansing the spirit in all of the spiritual ways, that the spiritually dynamic ways that fasting is beneficial, filters on down into the mind and the behavior, and it is a blessing. So take that into consideration. If you've been getting the call to fast, you've been feeling like you need to consistently fast. I know we got some fasting warriors out there. A goddess that I really admire is just exceptional at fasting. Actually, I know two sisters like that are fasting masters, and they do extensive fasts, like long fasts, but they've been doing that for years and they're really awesome. If you've been feeling intimidated by an extensive fast, that Fabuloso is making my eye itch. Sorry, allergies. I can't, I don't like chemicals. I'm not even gonna go there. I was gonna say a joke. Y'all wanna hear it? So, like, somebody was like, man, I know how to torture your ass. Just go. Now, I'm not saying what he really said. I don't want to give nobody no ideas, but this Fabuloso is torture. It's like, it's just too damn strong. It's like, and it smells like, God, I don't like it. It doesn't smell like, you know, the difference. I mean, like, okay, well, I'm sorry. I know we have different types of people. So your egonistas, your, plantistas, your veganistas, your folk that are into the essential oils and natural smells like myself, we cannot stand the smell of fake perfumes. I guess I speak for y'all collectively. I know I'm not the only one. This is totally off topic, but it's a very strong smell. It's super strong. So anyways, fasting does renew the body, the mind, and the spirit. It is a blessing. It's a blessing that you can give yourself to assist you. I mean, like, there's so many challenges to life, People be having witchcraft going, haters that be trying to do witchcraft on them, weird people that be doing other stuff, financial issues, all kind of stuff that, can surface into people's reality, or just different things that people are dealing with, day to day. It's like, it's a lot being a human in 2020. Then you got all the math stuff and all the other stuff, and people just, tripping. So it's a lot. And fasting helps deal with all of that, make you more stronger, balanced, healthier. And one of the things that I noticed with the first day of fasting dry is that I'm eliminating things that I ate for those days that I was eating. It doesn't mean that I don't release waste on those days, but when we are eating multiple meals per day, especially me, for my body type and my body, I know that I don't need all those things that I enjoy, but I still allow myself to enjoy it. So once I start the dry fasting, I start the elimination process. That first day, I'm eliminating waste. And then by the second day, morning, if I've been overdoing it during those days, I might have a little bit more. It just depends on how backed up you are or how much waste your body needs to release, on an individual basis. But that's my experience. And if I eat inappropriate things, like a lot of overly processed items, stuff like fake meats and things like that, then I will be releasing mucus as well. So by the second and third day, the funny things that I've noticed are like washing dishes and going to urinate afterwards. Not right afterwards, but like sometime. Because when you're dry fasting, you don't urinate a lot. You get to the point, like I said, after you went through the first day of elimination, and then you're into the second day, you don't eliminate anymore until you start eating again and drinking again. So the urination is very small and far in between how much liquid you absorb when you wash your hands and take your bath. And plus the body will hold on to it. And that's why some people do the no water dry fast. It's like, what's it called? A dry fast? I don't do that. I gotta clean my hands because I have children. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. So I wash my hands. I touch water when I do dishes. I wash my body. I, I like to feel fresh. So I don't know what people do to clean themselves when they do the dry fast. I think it's just a meditation where they just don't touch nothing and so they don't have to wash nothing. Yeah, that's what I think. Anyways, I've noted that whatever extra liquid that I've absorbed through bathing, washing dishes, washing my hands, my body will release through urine, which is pretty interesting thing about dry fasting. And something funny that I noted was there's a breathing exercise that I do that I learned in breatharian healing. And I'm not really as consistent as I need to be, but I was doing it and I noticed that I was burping. And the funny thing about it is like, okay, I'm not drinking anything except for air. And I actually had the thought because my throat was dry. And I was like, let me drink some air because I need my throat to feel a little bit better right now. I was like, let me drink some air. And I kid you not, after I drank all that air, I literally started burping. So that's my little fun dry fasting fact. I think it's funny because I was burping off the air, drinking the air. So, anyways, dry fasting, intermittent dry fasting is really awesome. I encourage you to listen to your body, take your steps, dance your way on into it, do the dry fasting dance, meditation, receive all of the health benefits such as cleansing, weight loss, your body healing, eliminating toxins, becoming a more peaceful and healthy person physically, mentally, and spiritually. It's all a process. No one is really going to become perfect overnight. You can still get frustrated and angry, but it's not on the same level. It's just like you literally become more clean. More clean through fasting. A cleaner mind, a cleaner spirit, and a cleaner body. And that's what I have to say in this fasting reflection video about the 72-hour or 3-day intermittent fasting process and benefits in my experience. And if you would like to hear more content about this topic or anything else that I feel like talking about, please do subscribe to my channel to support it and help it grow, and share it with people that you know could benefit from fasting for health or mental or spiritual growth. Thank you so much for your time and have a beautiful day. Peace.